Hello and welcome to another episode of the Manufacturers Hub podcast. Today we're with Chris Dias, a design and engineering consultancy, also do technical writing. Chris, welcome on.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
can you just say to the audience really what you do?
yeah. Well, I'm an engineering design consultant. Been engineering for over 35 years now, offering a wide range of services from mechanical design, technical authoring, 3D printing, and yeah. So, but basically, if anyone needs anything or wants anything, I can pretty much cover it.
What's the kind of technical authoring? Obviously, I know about the design wise and that. So technical authoring, what is that for the
Oh,
viewer?
well, technical authoring. I work with a company that does water processing plants. So they need O&M's, operation and maintenance manuals, basically a manual to explain how to service and maintain the plant. So it's basically a set of instructions. So yeah, so it's everything from installation, setting up the equipment, running it, maintaining it, and also all the maintenance schedules, but in a manual form.
Right. Okay. So what did you do? Obviously, before you've done this, did you work for other companies, or you've always just been out on your own?
No. The company's 10 years old this year, and when I started, I did a 4-year apprenticeship at British Aerospace back in 1989, when we had a thriving aircraft industry, and we're actually building a lot of aircraft. I did an aerotech apprenticeship, so I did 4 years, a year in the training school, then working around various departments. Got released at college, hands-on aircraft maintenance experience. Unfortunately, in 1993, the site shut down, and about 5,500, 6,000 people were made redundant. I went and worked for my parents, who had an engineering business. So engineering's always been in the family. Went to work for my parents, started as the QA manager, worked my way through learning CNC setting and machining, and also finishing processes, assembly, that sort of thing, and working up to technical sales and design.
Wow.
So
So what was it kind of back then? Really, engineering, was it? Obviously, was it 3D printing? Was it, or was it
well,
machining?
yeah, my parents' business had one of the first SLA machines in the country. I've still got samples in my sample case from when I used to go to basically travel around Europe and the States back in the mid-90s. And it was such a useful tool then, I mean, it was a brand new technology. I mean, it actually gained us a lot of orders because we used to do a lot of plastic moldings to make a model really quickly without having to make a mold tool and do any injection molding and show a customer. Was absolutely fantastic, sort of groundbreaking at the time.
So now I think because there's so much more on the market, are you seeing there's more businesses wanting to do, like, say, 3D printing and additive
Um,
manufacturing?
yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, nearly everyone has got a 3D printer now. Everyone uses 3D printers in different ways, but I do deep printing. I use it as a tool foremost for designing and coming up with concepts and being able to show a client. But I also do production runs as well. So I'll design a product for a company, and then I'll end up, doing the production runs, using the 3D printing. But I also do. I've just been doing a rush job for someone, so they do their own 3D printing, but they haven't got the capacity, so they pass it over to me. And now I've got an ultra big 3D printer. I can print big stuff that a lot of other companies can't. So you can think big,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah.
you know you'd have to produce a part in 12 separate parts and then glue it all together. I can now print it in one piece. So
So I think quite a lot of businesses have it. Is it 350 square as a most for
yeah, I
small
mean
business?
the new bamboo HS2 or H2S. I think that's got about 340 square bed. But I've got a mixture of quite a few different printers here. So I've got everything from the standard bamboo 240 mil up to 800 by 800 by a meter.
That's big. That is big. Print little mini versions yourself of that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So how does it work? I see your production runs. I've not really seen too many 3D printing kind of labs or running. how does it, when you're doing like large scale, I know you can print maybe just smaller objects, you might be able to print on like 20 on one bed. But what
Yeah.
if you're doing like a run of like 200? Do you use multiple machines? Or I saw
Yeah.
some recently where they used the machine like as tilted at an angle, and they used the machine to push stuff out the front door.
Oh, they can. Yeah, yeah. I'm quite lucky, really, because I live only 5 minutes from my office. So if I need to come back in the evening and change something over, I just do it. And I just look at the cameras on the machines, and if I'm sitting at home thinking, yeah, I could go and change those over now. But it depends. I mean, some of the, I've got 3 machines here with bamboos, which are just, they would just be constantly running, getting the most out of those. The big one that I mean, I've just done a print this week, and each of the prints is probably about 36 to 40 hours run. So I just put a big 5 kilo reel of material on it and just let it run, just sort of pop back now and again just to make sure everything's running okay. So that's the thing with running your own business. You never really get to have any sort of home time. You're always thinking about something and popping back to the office to check it.
I
Yeah.
totally get it. So is it just you there? So you recently spoke about having your wife as well join you.
Yeah, yeah, we're just in the process of my wife joining. She's not going to be working on the design or mechanical side. She's actually setting up her own side of the business, doing transformation management. So whether it's cultural change or process change or digital change within a business. So it's I've been wanting her to come and work with me for quite a while, and now there's the opportunity. She's coming on board. So
So at least you can offer more services to obviously the businesses that you're already working with, or new as well. So
yeah, that's right. Because I mean, talking to companies, I can talk to companies on a engineering side, but there might be there's always something else that they might be looking for. And I think I've had to diversify my business. When I first started up, I was doing contract design work. When when there's less and less work in that field, you need to diversify. So rather than so I went, started doing technical authoring. I've always written work instructions and things like that, but I'm offering that as a service now, and also the 3D printing. That's taken off a lot more now as well. Um, but things like, planning permission drawings, because I started off on 2D CAD, I do a lot of planning permission drawings for solar installations now, or whether it's, domestic or commercial so, if one part of the business is slightly quiet, there's always something somewhere else to fill the gap, and I think businesses have to diversify. If and this is why I started the business. I'm not one of these people that would be happy sitting at a CAD system just designing plastic widgets for 30 years. It just doesn't interest me at all. I like to be able to use all of my skill set, and that's why I set the business up.
that's just kind of so for me, engineering in general really is it's so varied, and being I'm coming out of like an automation kind of background, and everything's been a bit. I can go and do some like machining. I can go on a mill, go on a lathe, go and do some machining that way. I can go and do some assembly work. I can go and
Yeah.
check back through and look at some control stuff or pneumatics. Or it's for me, engineering has to be diversified just to keep your head always going. I say if you're sitting at a computer all day long just designing widgets or washers or something like that, it's for some people might be fine, but I say for other people they might strive to push for a bit more varied work.
I've got too much of an active and creative mind to just be stuck. I mean, a typical. I mean, this week alone, I'm working on a design for a water treatment plant for someone. I'm working on a vision system for meat processing lines. I'm designing a labeling machine. Next week is going to be completely different, and that's what I love about my job. And because I've worked in quite a few industrial sectors, I've worked in telecoms on fiber optics, I've worked in fire suppression equipment, I've worked in agricultural machinery, air compressors, that sort of thing. It's been so diverse. And I think once you pick up, if you've got the basic fundamental skills in design, you can transfer it to basically any industry, really. You know, you don't have to be an expert in everything as long as you know the basic fundamentals. You can work anywhere, really. And it's helped that experience. As I say before, if I'd have spent the last 30 years designing plastic widgets, it would be very difficult for me to move into a different area, you know, because that's all I know.
Do you find that, so where you've been in these other sectors before in the past, telecoms, and you said you were aerospace in the past, do you find you're doing a lot more work for these businesses now, or is it just totally varied, or is it?
Oh, crikey. I haven't done anything in the aircraft industry since 1993. When I got made redundant, that kind of finished. I worked in telecoms for probably about 10 years, designing fiber optic connectors and polishing equipment, and fiber management systems, that kind of thing. I work with an electronics company up in Norwich, or near Norwich, and they do a lot of new product development for electronics in agriculture. I can't really say too much about it, but it's using new technologies for doing traditional jobs in agriculture. So I can't really, obviously I can't really say too much about it because it's, you know, it's quite sensitive, and we're bringing new products out. I'd love to show you something, but I just can't, unfortunately, at the moment. But then it could be something. I have a client who's actually now a good friend of mine, who's ex-military bomb disposal technician, and I was contacted by him to basically make these, which are bomb disposal training aids. So obviously, it's very difficult taking real ones when he's abroad through customs, you know. So I just do 3D printed ones that are you can fully disassemble, and he uses these with his students. So
It's the amount of work you can go from anything to telecoms or the drawings down to making fake missiles.
yeah, but that's what makes it exciting. It could be anything. With the bomb disposal stuff, I can't phone up Rheinmetall and say, "Can you send me one of your bombs to measure?" It doesn't work like that. This is actually a training aid that I modelled up and built, 3D printed, all from photographs. So I had nothing to measure. All I had was
Scale.
I knew that was an M5 screw in the front, and everything that I've built here has all been from
Like around that.
photographs. So that's the sort of challenge that I might get, you know, and I would say that this is probably 95% scale accurate compared to the real thing. But I can't phone up the manufacturer and say, "Could you send me one to measure up?" So that's the kind of challenge that I would get.
So it can become quite challenges.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But all it starts with is one screw, and then everything else just comes from it.
Sounds quite fun though. I think the more kind of it's more interesting, and it kind of keeps your mind going, really, isn't it? Your head and your mind going of actually, how am I going to do this? What scale is this? And so working everything out from the M5 thread is
Ah.
quite challenging.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. But that's the challenge that I like. So, you know.
So what's been your your biggest, say, investment so far? Is it that 800 mil printer, or?
Um, the most expensive thing is SolidWorks, which is the CAD package that I use. I mean, that was a massive outlay. I mean, when I started the business, Gran had recently died and left some money. And I texted my wife one day and said, "I've just quit my job." And there was a bit of a silence. And she said, "What are you going to do now?" And I said, "Start my own business." So I bought a laptop, bought a seat at SolidWorks. And 10 years later, I've got a big design studio. And yeah, so it's just been through hard work. But yeah, I would say that's the most expensive. The most recent expense has been the big printer, but that has pretty much paid for itself already with some of the jobs that I've been working on. So it's just opened up whole new avenues. As I say, I recently did a job for someone that it would have had to have been made in 12 parts on a standard bamboo printer. I did it in 2, and I turned it around within 72 hours.
Is it quite often you have jobs you got to turn around that quick?
Pretty much everything I do is pretty tight. Yeah. Yeah. It's always like, when do you want it? Oh, tomorrow or so. But I don't mind short lead times. I mean, I've always had to work under pressure, and I kind of thrive on it, really. When you work for yourself, you have to do this. There is no 9 to 5. As much as I'd love to. Last year, I said to myself, right, I want to finish at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon and go home. And I think I probably managed it twice in a whole year. So, you know, maybe this year it might work, but no, it's just what you put into it, you get out of it. So, yeah.
It's hard, also, yeah, when you're on your own business, isn't it? It's knowing that I find, especially running a hub, is that there's no end. There's always one more thing I can do. There's always one more thing. So, and I feel if I've not done one extra thing that day, I'm actually either falling behind. I don't want to be like stale. I don't want to be like a stalemate where I'm just doing the same thing. I need to progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I always think, yeah, I'll go home in 5 minutes. I'll just get this finished, and then I'll get this finished, and then I'll get a text message when you're coming home. I just like to be organized. You know, for me, it's just nice to finish a day and just have everything that was on that morning checklist just ticked off, and customers that needed to know something, they've been given the information, and they can just go home at the end of the day happy and knowing that it's done.
So whereabouts are you based?
Near Bury St Edmunds on a farm, which is really quite nice. It's nice walks around here, and yeah, a bit cold in the winter, but nice in the summertime.
Do you mainly work with customers around there, or is it across the country, or is it overseas? Where's most of your customer base?
Everything's UK. I would say nearly all of my customers are in East Anglia, so it'd be, Suffolk, Norfolk and Essex mostly. But some of the jobs that I'm doing with clients could be anywhere. I work with a company that do stuff for the broadcasting industry for ITV and BBC. So I've designed a lot of stuff for them, which could be any of the TV studios. I've done stuff in Northern Ireland. It could be anywhere. I mean, I'm not really stuck just here. A lot of the projects that I work on are countrywide. So I'm not sort of not stuck here all the time.
Where do you get your word? Is it word of mouth? Is it repeat customers? Do you do much online? Do you online advertising?
I have a website. I would say that I don't get a lot of business through that. Funnily enough, nearly everything I do is repeat business, word of mouth or recommendation, or being in the right place at the right time and talking to the right people. That's just how it works, really. I went to the PPMA show last year at Birmingham, and I got chatting to a guy there who does solar installations. We just got chatting, and he was there because obviously a lot of the companies there have big factories, and there's the roof space to convert to solar. I just mentioned I'd I've done a bit of work doing planning permission drawings for solar farms. Got chatting, and I've had, quite a few orders off of him already. So it's networking, it's talking, it's just chatting. It's funny how the smallest little thing in a conversation gets discussed and what it turns into.
So yeah, like you said earlier on, it's being in the right place at the right time, isn't it? So it's at least you've got some repeat work out of him. I say it's a growing sector as well with the solar. I've
Yeah.
spoken to quite a few.
Absolutely, especially around here. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the fields are now being converted to solar farms. So I don't know where all the food's being grown now, but
I know quite a lot. And near me, there's actually some indoor strawberry factories. Like quite a lot of them, they've been grown inside now.
I think near Ipswich they were looking at doing something like that. So or growing indoors on a big scale.
So exactly because they can layer them right up in the warehouses, and they can put the right temperatures, the right light, everything like that, and then they can pick them quicker with automation.
Yeah, it's kind of like vertical farming, isn't it? So
Yes.
yeah.
But why do you think businesses come back to you?
Quality of service, communication, getting the job right first time, which has always been drummed into me, in engineering, get a job right first time. Sometimes you can't because you might be developing a prototype or something like that. But yeah, I like to have a real personal relationship with my clients. I know what it's like you know, when I've used companies, you know, previously on jobs, I've contacted 12 companies in the UK looking for hydraulic power packs. And I had 2 companies actually get back to me with a quote. Never heard anything from the others. When someone contacts me, they will get a reply straight back if I can do it. Communication is so important. Just a quick email to say to a client, say, "Yep, job's going okay. You should get it on time, no problems." Or even if there's just a slight issue, you know, going to be a slight issue with this one. Are you happy to maybe change to this? Or it's just being open with a client. There's nothing worse than not saying anything and then on a Thursday, "Oh, is that job ready? Going to be ready tomorrow?" "Oh, well, sorry about that, but." You know, so it's just
Let them
very,
down.
very
It's the
important.
relief, isn't it?
Yeah.
The relief that obviously you're giving them as well, knowing that actually the job's going fine, and you're being proactive by letting them know that as well. So it's sometimes I find things like that. You'd hate to be in that situation yourself and being let down the same day or the day
Yeah.
before.
I know what it's being let down by people. So, you know, and I do my utmost to not.
Are there any unique projects, obviously other than the missiles, that you've been doing
Yeah.
for your friend, you'll always kind of remember? Are there interesting ones you'll always remember throughout the whole kind of career?
Um, Crikey. If I think about how diverse it's been, yeah. When I first started the business, I won a innovation award. Well, the client that I did the job for won an innovation award for a piece of agricultural equipment. So that was quite a bit of a boon, you know, sort of when I first started up. Crikey, if I think about how many projects I've worked on, there's been absolutely dozens of them. So I've overcome my fear of heights working on one project, which was for a chemical plant, and I'm not really that good with heights. But having to walk up really tall staircases and platforms and stuff, that's kind of cured my fear of heights. There's nothing I can really pick out because most of it's been quite enjoyable. You know, things like this is a scale model for client premier labelers that I do design work for down in Harwich, and they said to me, can I do a scale model of one of their printers for or one of their labelers for an exhibition? So I was like, yeah, no problems at all. So
I think I
there you
saw
have
you
it.
outside that on LinkedIn.
As well as making this one, I actually designed the real things for them as well.
There's a lot to it, isn't it? It's certainly intricate as well. Those little parts.
There is, yeah, absolutely. But
I
yeah,
think I see you advertise that on your LinkedIn as well.
yeah, I mean, pretty much everything that I've got here is on the is on my website as well. So in the blogs or design gallery. So which is worth checking out.
So yeah, easy for people to see what you can do then.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
do you go to any exhibition? I know you said you went to PPMA. Do you like exhibit any exhibitions, or do you attend, or is there any going to this year?
Um, I want to try and get to as many as I can. Probably be going to PPMA again this year. Food tech is normally one that I would go to as well. As I say, you know, a lot of the companies that I work for in the food industry or label and packaging industry, the Suffolk Chamber of Commerce networking I normally do. And when I have an event on, I normally exhibit there as well. So I just have a little stand and some samples. Exhibitions is quite fun because they're so expensive to exhibit there. It's absolutely crazy money for a small company like me. I've got to think, well, I've got to make that money back that I'm spending exhibiting at a show. And I have noticed over the years the shows are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and there's more and more exhibitors from abroad as well, especially maybe China and the Far East. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's not worth it. And a lot of the local business networking, some of it's relevant, but the people that I would need to contact, I would, or you know, need to get work from, would not be at something like that. So yeah, I would say that it's quite difficult networking with engineering companies, especially around here, you know, or in East Anglia. It's like, well, where do you go and what do you do? You got the big shows in Birmingham. We have other groups around here, like the Greater Ipswich Manufacturing Group, but we're sort of quite limited, really. And also I would say the amount of engineering around here has just got less and less. If you think about Ipswich, the amount of engineering and manufacturing they used to have there, all big manufacturing, like cranes and people like that, it's all gone or been broken up. And Bosch in Stowe Market, that was a huge manufacturing plant, that's all gone. So it's a
Well, I
shrinking
thought it'd been
industry.
quite a lot still because of being so close to the Felixstowe and the docks.
Yeah, I mean there are electronics companies in Ipswich, in Felixstowe, sorry, pretty circuit boards. Electronics is quite a big thing around here, I think. I mean, I've been in engineering for over 35 years myself, and obviously, parents were in engineering as well, and it's all changed.
Is there anything new for 2026? Obviously, I've got a new wife coming on board. Is that very soon, is it? Or is she already on board? Or is there anything else from 2026?
She's working on it at the moment. Yeah, that'll be within the next month, and then we're going to have a big push for that. I mean, for this year, I've got new clients on board now, so there's a lot of new projects in the pipeline. So yeah, just more of the same, really, or maybe more of the same but different. If you see what I mean.
Maybe investing in more machines, or you're a bit
I haven't got any room.
expensive much recently.
I've filled it out. When two years ago, I was in a 3 meter by 2 meter office, and now I'm in this big room, and I've absolutely filled it. So I just haven't got any more space at the moment. But what I want to do is obviously, the big printing is something that I'd like to get more of. If I can fit another machine in, I'd like to be able to have enough work to invest in another one of those. I like making big stuff.
Cool. It seems very the big rocket as well. Like you were showing me earlier on. It's it's mad seeing some of the sizes. I was quite shocked about actually the size.
Yeah,
Of the
yeah.
you print
Well,
on them.
I mean, if you think about that's what the real thing looks like. Here's one I made that's bigger. So that's the kind of size of 3D print I can do, and bigger. So yeah, I mean this was just a test piece just to see how big you can go, and also what the sort of print quality would be like, and it's absolutely fantastic. So if you know anyone who wants any big bombs, let me know.
Do you use any kind of like recyclable materials in these printers? We've got a couple of
Yeah, I have
suppliers
used.
on board.
Yeah, I've used quite a bit of recycled PETG clear stuff on a few projects. I think that's you'd like to think that a lot of these 3D printed films are recycled. How much of them are, I've absolutely no idea. But I mean, when I design something, I try and keep waste to an absolute minimum, and it's about how you design something, how you print something, just to use the minimal amount of material but keeping the integral strength, and also the amount of supports that you can use. So when I design and print something, I try and do as much as I can without any supports, because it's the supports that you break off that are a waste. You can't really do much with them. Yeah, so it's about how you design things, really.
Is there anything else you want to add and to talk to the audience about?
Not really. I mean, if there's anything that that you're interested in, please get in touch or have a look at the website. There's plenty in the gallery there to look at. To sort of give you a bit of a taster of what we do here.
And obviously they can find you. You're quite active on LinkedIn as well, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
So people can find you through either your website or they can find you through LinkedIn.
Yeah,
Obviously they can
absolutely.
find you on the hub as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can also find me on Manufacturers Hub as well.
So it's nice speaking to you anyway, Chris. I think that's the end of all the questions anyway. But yeah, it's great to have you on. It's nice to actually hear about more about what you do and some of the projects you've done, especially the scale of some of these projects are phenomenal, really, at the sizes. I don't think there's many businesses out there that do that size. But no, so it's great to see more about what you do.
Yeah, that's good to finally get to talk to you.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Richard. Take care.
If you want more customers, you've got two choices. You either pay for Google Ads or you hope that you're within the top 10 on Google search.
There's over 100,000 manufacturing businesses in the UK, but how do they get found? I had that problem working for an engineering company in Essex with no marketing budget. How could new customers find us?
My name's Kevin and I'm the co-owner of Manufacturers Hub, and we've come up with a solution to get your business found online. Join us today to boost your online presence. Click the sign up link.